Good morning, Internet. All right, I'm headed to work. I had a big update go on yesterday with Harley Davidson, so we're going to talk about that real quick. They actually put some stuff up on the website. They announced the launch date. We're going to get into all that, including what models had a price decrease. Yep, you heard that right. They dropped the price on some models. So I got 7 things you need to know. Let's get into it. Okay, number 1, when you look on the website, there's this new picture right there on the homepage, at least on the US version of the website, and there's 3 bikes in it. The first bike is a Road Glide with the new styling. That could be a CVO, or that could be a standard or an ST or a special if they bring the styling features down to the other touring models like I've been predicting they would do. The next bike back in the line, staggered formation, is a Street Glide there, and that's got the new styling as well. So we see new styling of the Road Glide and the Street Glide. We don't know what models those are, if those are CVOs or other touring models. But then the thing that is curious is there's a third bike back there. And I don't think that's an accident. It's riding in the middle to make sure you can see it. I think this is a teaser as well. Now, it sure looks to me like somebody is on that bike is kind of like in an upright position. You can see a lot of the shoulders and the head. I don't think they're sitting kind of down in the cruiser position. So what bike is that? I can tell you, based on the mirrors, it is not a Sinister Special, or a Sportster S, because those all have bar end round mirrors and this does not. I've had some comments already, some messages from people about it. A lot of other people have noticed it. The thought is that it is a new model, that we're going to get another new model. The question is, could it possibly be that Pan America 975 that we were waiting on that didn't show up? Or could it be maybe the Bronx? You know, that's another theory. So I don't know what that third bike is. I do know it is not a Sinister Special, or a Sportster S with factory mirrors. It doesn't look like it's got apes, so it's not a standard or Fat Bob. Doesn't look like a Lowrider S. You know, it just doesn't look like one of those other cruiser models to me from what I can tell, but it is really hard to tell from this angle. So if you have a theory on what that is, leave it in the comments down below. Number 2 is we're going to talk about the teaser video. So I got this off of YouTube, but I believe it's on Instagram and other places as well. I'm sure it's on Facebook somewhere. But they put out a teaser video saying that the launch is officially January 24th, which I mentioned a couple months ago when I talked about the color sheet that leaked, and that was going to be the launch date. That hasn't changed. So in the teaser, though, there's a couple of clips that we can get a little bit of detail from. Most of them are 1,000-foot shots from above of bikes riding on the road. They're the aerial shots. You can't really see a lot of detail in that. But I found these 2 clips here, and I pulled some frames out of them. This first one is somebody sitting on a Road Glide, and it looks to me like the hand controls are the new style, like the CVO Road Glide hand controls, which are like the Pan America. And the grips look like what was on the CVO last year. So this is either a CVO model or it's a touring model with the same handlebar setup as the CVO models. That's a Road Glide in this shot. And then at the end of the teaser, there's this pan across the back of a rider, and you see the tail lights of another bike. Now, those tail lights are absolutely the new style of the CVOs. So again, that's a CVO, or it's a touring bike with the CVO styling. Hard to say for sure. I can't see enough details to be sure which one that is. If you can tell, you got better eyes than me, you let me know what you think it is. But you know, it's either teasing the CVOs or they're teasing the CVO styling coming to the touring models. And that's my theory. I think that's what they're doing. I've said it before in my other videos. I can't see them not bringing some of those features down. So let's talk about what they put on the website. Item number 3, the Softail Standard and the Street Bob. So the Softail Standard got a small price increase and went from like $14,500 to $14,999, or went from $14,600 to $14,999, but it stayed under $15,000. And the Street Bob went up about $600. I think it's $16,000 something now. I'll throw the price up here. I don't have all that memorized. I'm driving, paying attention to what I'm doing, so forgive me for not looking at the camera. Now, what is interesting about these bikes, they have a small price increase. We've been told the surcharge is gone. I should have checked that, but I did not. I believe Matt Laidlaw when he said the surcharge is gone. It's baked into the price now. These models did not get ABS standard. So both of these bikes, they got a small increase in the Softail models, did not get ABS standard, did not get traction control. 4, the rest of the Softails got a price increase. You look at the other Softail models, and they range from features, and I don't have them all memorized, so I can't tell you exactly what models got what, but I think they all have ABS standard now. Some of them already had ABS standard, some of them did not. Some of them got traction control standard now as the rider safety enhancements. Some did not. So you just gotta have to look at them and see, but pretty much the rest of the Softails got anywhere from a $1,200 to an $1,800 price increase from what I can see. Most of them are pushing $20,000 and over now. 5, they put 3 touring models on the website. Only 3. Guess what they are? The Road King Special with a 114. Nope, you didn't get a 117. Your only hope of getting a bigger motor is if they do a CVO version, because y'all still stuck with the 114. I know some people wanted to see a 117. I guess maybe they could come out with a Road King ST, but I don't see that. But maybe they could do that, and then you'd get a 117. And then they did the Road Glide Limited and the Ultra Limited. And this is a topic of discussion because they still have the old styling. Now, when the Road Glide 3 hit the dealers and I posted pictures of them, I had someone tell me that they didn't think that Harley-Davidson was going to bring the new styling to the other touring models because they wouldn't want to run 2 different fairings in the same year, and the Road Glide had the traditional fairing. Well, the Road Glide Limited has the traditional fairing, and the Ultra Limited and the Tri-Glide have the old Batwing fairing still. So it looks like we're going to have a mix of fairings again this year. The question is, are the rest of the touring models that don't show up on the website getting the new styling? Are they getting the new dash? I believe they will. I've heard they're not getting inverted front forks or Brembo brakes. I'm still hoping that maybe the STs get those features as the performance models. I think that makes sense, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Now, all 3 of these touring models did get a price increase. I don't remember exactly how much the Road King Special went up, but I want to say it was around $2,000. The Ultra Limited and the Road Glide Limited went up about $2,500. They're up over $30,000. Now, those models have trunks, and I'm wondering if they have not redesigned a trunk to match the new styling, so that's why those models are not getting the new style fairing and bags. What do you guys think about that theory? You let me know. 6, the Revolution Max Sport Platform. We're not talking about the Pan Americas there and stuff. We're talking about the Nightster Special, and the Sportster S. And this was a big surprise to me, but that's where the price decrease comes in. Not the Sportster S, it still went up. But the Nightster Special and the Nightster, the most 2 affordable Harley-Davidsons, had a price decrease. And it was significant. I'm not talking a couple $100, I'm talking $1,500. So the Nightster Special was $15,000 and it has dropped to $13,500. The Nightster was $13,500 and it has dropped to $12,000. So why the change? Well, I have a couple of theories. One, everybody's complaining that their entry-level Harley-Davidson was $13,500, and for $14,500 you could buy a Softail Standard, so why buy a Revolution Max, smaller bike? And of course, they're different styling. There's some people that might prefer the Nightster over the Softail Standard, but I don't know how big a segment of the market that is. So they needed better price differentiation between the Nightsters and the Softail line. I think that was a big part of it. Another part of it might be the fact that Indian Motorcycles in their last quarterly update announced that they were leading in the mid-size market in the US for the first time in sales. And what that is referring to when they say mid-size market is like their Scout lineup. I did a little research. I can't find a real good definition of what mid-sized is, but it looks to me like it's basically like 600 to 1,000 cc's. Maybe 1,100 cc's, depending on who you are and how you want to, look at that. So the Nightster's definitely kind of in that category along with the Scouts. Indian did not increase the price of the Scouts in 2024. At least at the time of the launch, the website showed the same pricing. I haven't checked it lately. Sometimes they'll do mid-year increases later. The Indian announcement was just a month or so ago. So they kept a lot of their low-end bike pricing flat, kept it the same. They did increase some of the Chiefs models, but not all. And then they increased all their touring models. So I think that pricing and doing that is trying to make Harley-Davidson stay competitive in the pricing with them. I'm sure they didn't like hearing that Indian is leading in the mid-size market in sales. All right, last thing, number 7, the Fat Bob and the Pan America. So we talked about this in a video. I said they weren't on the color sheet. I think they've been cut for the US, and they are not on the website. And I know you might say, well, they can still come out on January 24th. Well, I checked the UK website, and guess what? They're out there. So they didn't get a significant upgrade. They're not going to make a different version for the UK and the US. So I think, this confirms that they are cut in the US market. They're still in the international market in certain markets. I don't know which ones. I just know on the UK website I checked, and the Fat Bob was still there, and the Pan America for 2024 models. And of course, our favorite Sport Glide that they have not brought back to the US is still available in international markets as well. By the way, my wife rides a Sport Glide, so that's one reason I pay attention to it. It's a great bike. I guess sales just wasn't enough, along with the Fat Bob and the Pan America Standard, to make it worth offering in the US. So that's what I got for you guys. That's what I have pulled out of what Harley-Davidson has done on January 2nd between the website and the teaser, what I think is the most important things. You guys leave me a comment down below. Let me know, do you think those missing touring models, the specials and the STs, are gonna get the styling upgrades and the dash? Do you think there's any chance that they'll get inverted front forks and Brembo brakes as well? Or are we gonna have to wait a little while longer to get those things? All right, y'all stay safe, keep on riding. We'll see you in the next one.